The Infestation series had one of the best introductions to the IDW Omniverse till date, and having a two-part event. Unfortunately, however, it never really reached its, I would have to say, its peak in all honesty. You see, Transformers, Dungeons and Dragons, Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe, Ghostbusters, and 30 Days Vampires, okay? All a part of the IDW Omniverse, all got their time against the Lovecraftian Elder Gods. However, we now know that Godzilla wasn't a part of this for some weird reason. And now, after so many years, he finally gets to fight Cthulhu. Yet, he could have done this during the Infestation run. However, I always wonder something here. What if Optimus Prime was given this opportunity? Could he actually beat Cthulhu in a one-on-one situation? So without further ado, let's begin. Now, when it comes to the versions of Optimus, only a few I think would actually be able to handle something like Cthulhu. By the way, we'll be using the full Lovecraftian lore for Cthulhu, and we'll be using IDW Optimus Prime. Now, if you do see Smite pictures, just let y'all know I do love, okay? I do love the pictures, okay? They have some of the best artwork when it comes to portraying gods. So, without further ado, yeah, let's actually talk about Cthulhu first. Now, I'm going to put the scans up and just kind of talk about them as I go. So, to start off, the Lovecraftian verse is infinite in size and contains many infinite multiverses. These multiverses have various forms of time and space, and they are infinitely layered. Even their voids and stuff here, which are known to be beyond the concepts of time, space, and dimensions, are also infinitely layered. This falls into things like, again, Hilbert space. Hilbert space dives into the scientific study of multi-dimensional layers, which, again, if you guys use the tiering system of Versus Battles Wiki and character stats and profiles, this falls into the high hyperversal domain. However, with the elder gods like Cthulhu, Azathoth, and etc. being way above this, this puts them at an outer versal level, just by that alone. However, Cthulhu is not without his own abilities and hacks and obviously feats, because again, he can destroy these many multiverses like they're nothing. Cthulhu has let's start off with the simplest ability. He has reality warping, molecular manipulation, matter manipulation. Yeah, apparently they are different things. I don't make the rules. It is what it is. They're apparently different. So he has reality warping, excuse me, matter manipulation, molecular manipulation, telepathy, as he can mind control anything, sorcery, as again he is a Lovecraftian elder god. Majority of them, if not all of them, do have some form of dark magic and stuff, you know? Basically, you could throw them against Dormammu, and they could do the same things he does with his magic, okay? Then you have the sheer fact that Cthulhu has madness manipulation, which allows him to induce anyone into a state of magic or madness, excuse me, and well, gives him an upper hand in any sort of situation here. Cthulhu can also manipulate his size, can manipulate the way dreams work as well. By the way, do you know dreams are also infinitely layered in the Cthulhu mythos? It's crazy, ain't it? Because, I mean, imagine your dream, right? I mean, yes, dreams are an alternate reality that pretty much comes up from the imagination of that very person. But again, imagine your dream having layers to it. There's depths to it. Something you could think of as you going around in a zombie apocalypse could be an infinitely layered realm. It's insane, ain't it? And Cthulhu would also be, well, faster than light to immeasurable levels of speed, because he's able to cross an infinite amount of voids and stuff there and can do it instantly. So again, this will get him to the faster than light to the immeasurable levels of speed. And well, I think that kind of covers everything for Cthulhu here. I don't really think he has too much, in all honesty. I'm not saying he has too much going for him, but I don't think he has too many hacks and abilities that we need to go over. So, in all honesty, yeah. I think that should do it. Oh, he also has a true form. I knew I forgot something here. So this will put him possibly into the high Outerversal category if you really want to get it to there. But again, for this one, we're just going to keep it Outerversal for the sake of time. Now, let's talk about Optimus Prime. Now, the Transformers cosmology by itself here already gets to Outerversal. You see, you have many universes. Each universe is separated by its continuity, and those continuity, due to them having infinite possibilities, create infinite universes for themselves, which would again lead them to being infinite multiverses. However, these multiverses actually operate on an infinite dimensional layer due to each verse confirming that they run on quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics dives into, get this, Hilbert space. Yeah, crazy, ain't it? Which again deals with multi-dimensional layers. Yay! And yet we have characters in the Transformers franchise that actually eat these things, crush these things, and wind up being a threat to these entire things. And guess what? Optimus has been one of the few people that have been able to defeat all of these things. I know, it's crazy, ain't it? He's just fighting against characters that can affect things on a quantum level. And considering most of Transformers does operate on that quantum level, this actually means that Optimus himself can destroy these verses on a quantum level. Now, Optimus Prime has done some impressive things here. I don't even think I know where to begin when it comes to his most impressive feats here, but I guess we could start from the bottom and just make our way up. For starters, he's been able to defeat Thunderwing, a being that was actually a threat to the microverse, or again, all of creation itself here, which again refers to their respective multiverse again. So he's threatening the infinite dimensional layers and also the higher realms. Excuse me, I forgot about that. The higher realms actually transcend these infinite layer multiverses to the point where they make something look basic, or to where they make these multiverses look basic. So Optimus being able to defeat these kind of beings is absolutely ridiculous. He was also able to fight the Baron, who's been able to transverse the entropy cloud, which is a threat to the microverse. And the microverse is beyond the space and time of the original IDW verse. So, yeah, Optimus is absolutely no joke. He would also scale relative to the Matrix, if not above it, as he's been able to take attacks from the Heart of Darkness. The Heart of Darkness is actually above the Matrix because it has no limits to it. It's actually way more powerful than the Matrix here. But again, it's kind of like the opposite antithesis to the Matrix here. So take that as you will. With the Matrix, again, being able to kill avatars of Unicron and being able to defeat the Void, if not erase him from existence as well, and can erase things on a conceptual level. There's also the fact that Optimus Prime has defeated his Elder God, which is actually pretty important here. These Elder Gods were born from the blood of H.P. Lovecraft himself and some dark magic. It's actually pretty graphic, so you can actually go read Infestation for yourself, because I'm not sure if YouTube would allow me to show that. So these Elder Gods, right, were actually a threat to the entire universe, including other cosmologies such as Dungeons and Dragons and Ninja Turtles, which we'll talk about soon here. Now, Optimus has the Matrix of Leadership, which actually goes into his hacks and abilities. You see, Optimus can utilize the Matrix in many different ways here. He can actually turn it into an energy blast. He can use it to regenerate his wounds here. And believe it or not, he can regenerate things like lost limbs and ripped out organs. Keep in mind, the Matrix also gives him cosmic awareness and the ability to create life itself. So, the Matrix of Leadership actually gives Prime a plethora of powers and abilities. However, like I said earlier, it can also erase things from existence. Excuse me. And it erases things based on their, well, I guess you could say their more conceptual makeup. Basically, if that thing was born an evil entity, yeah, that thing is gone. It's definitely gone. But again, Optimus can control the Matrix to where he can simply erase the evil inside of someone. Kind of like, whatchamacallit, Gogeta's, Stardust Breaker, okay, where it's able to purify his opponents if it doesn't flat out kill them. But again, Optimus should be consistently above a lot of these characters, even above characters like Ramjet, who was able to fight against Vector Prime. This is because, again, the Elder Gods in Optimus Prime's verse were able to torture him, and Vector Primes are around the same level as the Fallen, who's a threat to all of creation. So, yeah, that kind of covers it for Optimus Prime. So, without further ado, we can actually answer the question: can Optimus Prime beat Cthulhu? Now, again, we're going to keep this pretty much base versus Avatar. As again, if I use Alternative Optimus Prime and True Form Cthulhu, we would definitely be here all day, and we do not have that kind of time, right? I mean, y'all might, but I don't. So, Optimus Prime being able to defeat Hill's Elder Gods, and usually the argument is that these Elder Gods are on par with Cthulhu. Well, let's actually talk about it. How powerful are these Elder Gods? Now, we already talked about how these Elder Gods were threatening to destroy the cosmologies of their respective verses. So, we can actually say they're around the same level as each other, because again, each one does operate on an infinite dimensional layer, and the Elder Gods were threatening to destroy that. And believe it or not, Optimus was the only one to beat his without any prep at all. And this is actually important because the other verses, like Dungeons and Dragons and Ninja Turtles, actually had to prepare themselves to basically beat these Elder Gods here. So, absolutely insane, ain't it? Now, if we actually do consider the sheer fact that, again, the Omniverse is connected here, and, well, I think I've proven multiple times that it is here in previous videos here, then this means these Elder Gods will not only scale to the Transformers verse, but the Dungeons and Dragons and Ninja Turtles verse. Now, Dungeons and Dragons is a 3-layered, infinite layered multiverse. Okay? They have the material plane, the astral plane, and the ethereal plane all in one multiverse, but again, it is separated by these 3 layers. These 3 layers are, again, infinitely layered, with even the void being an infinitely layered realm. So these creatures, these Elder Gods here, are threatening the same cosmology, or at least a relatively closer cosmology than Cthulhu, okay? Or at least close to Cthulhu. But then you also have Ninja Turtles, right? So you have Ninja Turtles cosmology where they actually dive into Hinduism, which is basically the study of dualities, how everything has to balance out and keep itself in check, in all honesty. And then the sheer fact that, again, the Elder Gods are going to destroy it. So they're also able to threaten infinitely layered and duality multiverses, respectively. So, with that being said here, how do they compare to Cthulhu? And in all honesty, they actually come pretty close to the Avatar of Cthulhu. Considering the Avatar of Cthulhu is, again, capable of destroying these multiple multiverses that operate on different time-space continuums, that are realms and voids that are beyond the time, space, and dimensions of these respective multiverses here. And yet we have Optimus Prime being able to dive in and yet 1v1 his Elder God. Now, do I think this Elder God compares to Cthulhu? No. In no way, shape, or form he does. Now, in terms of power, yes, they do come close. But in terms of Cthulhu himself, there is a very big difference. But can Optimus Prime actually beat Cthulhu? All right? And the answer, believe it or not, is yes. I do think Optimus Prime can definitely beat Cthulhu. However, it is going to require the Matrix of Leadership in order to do it. Now, I do think Cthulhu would definitely be more on the 13 Primes level when it comes down to it. However, Optimus was able to beat an Elder God, which were known for torturing the likes of Ramjet. Ramjet was, again, comparable to Vector Prime, to the point where Vector Prime had to fight dirty. So, with that being said here, and Cthulhu does have many hacks and abilities, but some of them won't work on Optimus Prime, like his madness manipulation. However, his reality warping and maybe his matter manipulation could. However, Optimus has been able to take conceptual attacks before and has fought conceptual entities, so he should be fine against a lot of these attacks entirely. But overall, I do think because of the Matrix of Leadership and its way how it affects beings on a conceptual level, depending on their evil, Cthulhu in most incarnations of him, if not all incarnations of him, is evil. And, well, that is gonna bite him in the butt, in all honesty. So, do I think Optimus Prime beats Cthulhu? Yes. And Believe it or not, I do think it is a high to extreme difficulty situation. But that's going to be all for today. Please comment down below, like and subscribe and share it with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. Peace.